Hi, today's good person to know is Hellen Beveridge. She's founder of Pure Rocket Science. Hellen formed part of a panel of experts discussing the importance of content marketing for event professionals, and I pulled out Hellen's key tips here. Although the discussion was geared towards event organisers, I'd say it's applicable to any industry sector. Hellen knows a thing or two about blogging. Not even 6 years ago, she had 65 contacts on LinkedIn, and today she has over 85,000 members with a 4,000 people waiting list, but she's selective as to who can join. Hellen's key tips were that she's interacted with most of her contacts. It's not about building a network, but building relationships. It's about building a sticky community so that the community sticks to you and doesn't go anywhere else. It's about being relevant and not just giving statements, because that's where the conversation ends. She says that you need to engage with your members all year round and not just when you're holding an event, and to use keywords that appeal to your audience and not just for the benefit of SEO. Now, I did catch up with Hellen afterwards because I wanted to know more, and Hellen said quite a few times, you can have it all, but not at the same time. And she really works hard so that she can have it all. So I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.
I set up Who's Doing Events 6 years ago with my 65 contacts then on LinkedIn, and I now have 85,000 members, and I have more than 1,000 contacts on LinkedIn. Most of whom, I have to say, I have actually interacted with, because I'm about content, but that means information and knowledge that their potential audience needs or wants to share. How creating great content creates a sticky community. And so as event managers, and the whole drive for content marketing is to get your community to stick to you and not go anywhere else, because the internet, etc. these days is like a library without the lights on, and lots of people are going around like this. And what you, as event organisers, by pumping out lots of relevant content that people can engage with, you get people to stick to you because you're telling what they believe to be a great story. They don't need to go anywhere else. Job done. It's about saying something that somebody is interested in, because what we're very guilty of is we kind of go, so-and-so is speaking at our event, and, you know, because it's not relevant to the people you're talking to. So before you even get to the stage with hashtagging, etc., you have to make sure that what you're saying is really relevant. And that's why people don't respond, because it's like it'd be going to Annie and say, Annie, you look great in that dress. And then, but there's nothing else to say about that. Should say thanks, but the conversation isn't going to go any further. And we're very guilty within the events industry of just kind of putting out statements. So no one is going to respond to a statement because you've asked the question, you've answered the question, and that's the end of it. The thing is that people have to be in the environment when you ask the question as well. So sometimes we kind of think, we've asked this question, I've got 85,000 people on a group in LinkedIn, and someone asks the question, and then nobody responds, because in that moment in time, nobody was there. And the main thing is, if you want people to answer and engage with you, you have to be putting out so much content that people are always there, and then they can respond. Otherwise, you are just talking to an empty room, and that's why they don't respond. For 2 years, and then I ask you a question, you'd like to answer me in the next 30 seconds?
No.
No. So and events have this cyclical marketing plan where we are silent as we are slumbering in hibernation for 8 months. And then all of a sudden we expect our audience to engage with us straight away when we start the marketing campaign. And you're like, well, why? I haven't spoken to you for 8 months, and I want you to be my best friend again. It takes a while to get that momentum back up. So you can't expect to not talk to somebody all year, or in some cases, cyclical events that are 3 years apart. Then all of a sudden, I resurrect myself, and I expect you all to be there waiting for me at the door. It doesn't happen. So that's why there's a lack of engagement to begin with. It takes a long, long time to build groups and engagement. You need friends and ambassadors. So you need the audience has to create the content in the first instance, because otherwise, it's you're sitting there with your fingers in your ears, telling people what they want and what you think they want to know, and it might be completely different. But I write all of mine but I've got clients that I write for as well, so I quite literally will write lots of things all at once, and then so that's 16 to 20 hours a week. I have a week's worth of topics that I know I'm going to write about, and I now find that much easier to write maybe 1 hour and spend a morning writing 5 posts that will go one after the other. than sitting and trying to think of the topic and trying to find a picture to go with it and then writing about it, trying to find some links to go with it.
So in that 16 to 18 hours that you do a week, how many blogs will you generate?
Probably 10 at most. Quite literally, I have to absorb a lot of information very quickly, and then I will also go and find experts, and I will go and find other people to help me out a bit.
Okay.
So, but the majority of the content has to be written by me, and I do have to know my stuff. Ask me anything you like.
Is it opinion based or is it?
It will be a mixture too. So it could be, some of it will be that you can have interviews with people, or you can have the latest news. Escalators, it's all about new health and safety legislation. Not every marketeer can write good copy. I know great journalists that can write fantastic marketing copy. I also know great journalists who I wouldn't let anywhere near marketing copy. I know great salespeople that write great copy. I know some marketeers that write awful copy. And I often write the copy for them. That's how I earn my money. So, if you are good at copy, and some marketeers are good at copy, then yes, you should be writing the copy and the content. But the fact question for that is, are you the person that should be deciding what the copy is about, if you're the marketer? Because you could write great copy about a topic that doesn't fit with the event, which doesn't fit with the strategy, or offends a particular exhibitor. And so it actually has to be a whole team decision, and then the person who can write, either in-house or a bought-in resource, should write it. Start off your market campaign with a list of keywords.
But do you do that within the content?
Well, yes, because if your keywords will be directly relevant to the audience, which is directly relevant to your event, which is definitely relevant to your content, so it shouldn't be something that you actually have to work all that hard at, providing if you've established your keywords at the beginning of your marketing campaign. Some of the things that work really, really well are really off the wall. So I did an event last year and I wrote keywords for the web company, and they said you can't use those. I said, but that's how I would search for this event. That's the phrase that I would use. And they go, no. I said, okay, well we'll test it. You run your keywords one week, and I'll run mine next week, and mine won. And they won substantially because they were thinking just in terms of Google SEO, and I was thinking, but I'm just thinking how would my audience search for this particular topic? And that's being inside the skin of your audience from a marketing perspective.